Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the September 21, 2021 meeting of the Orange Town Plan and Zoning Commission. I am Commissioner Ozzie Parenti. Let's start as we usually do by having those seated at the desk, at the table, will introduce themselves.
Tamara Trantalis, Administrative Assistant.
Tom Tarenti. Paul Kaplan.
Judy Smith.
Jack Demerjen, Zoning Enforcement Officer.
Okay, and I think we're going to be missing Commissioner Cornell this evening. He has a prior engagement. All right, first item on our agenda, as usual, are the minutes from the previous meeting. They were emailed to everybody this afternoon. Everybody get a chance to take a look? Paul, you weren't here for the last meeting. I had just, Tammy, one comment on the first page. Under review of the minutes of the August 17, 2021 meeting, a motion was made by Judy Smith and Oscar Parenti. I think you're missing, and seconded by.
Oh, you're right.
And that was the only thing I picked up on. Otherwise, everything looked fine to me. Tom, you all set?
All set.
Paul? All right, then, is somebody prepared to make a motion that we approve the minutes?
I will make a motion that we approve the minutes from September 8th, 2021 meeting.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Tarenti. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And we have one abstention, Commissioner Kaplan. All right, next item on the agenda is old business. Anybody have anything that they want to bring up under that topic? Jack, we have the legal notices out for the public hearings that we've been talking about, on our own initiative, the
I
amendment.
did do one for the commercial vehicles, but I know we
Right.
have some amendment, so I have Barbara. Sorry. I do have one for the commercial vehicles, but Barbara is working on that other amendment that you and I spoke about last week.
Yeah.
Regarding the like the signage of sorts on the side of vehicles.
Paul, I know you had a conversation with somebody because I had a conversation with that same person.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was adamant that he had a small vehicle. I believe he does have a garage, but really didn't want to take everything out of the garage to put the small vehicle. It's not a it's not a large truck. It's a what is a
I think it's a
residential
PT
vehicle.
Cruiser. It's a small.
Yeah, that's what he
small
described.
vehicle. Yeah.
And he was voicing his displeasure about how it was putting a real burden on him and other small business owners. In his particular case, he felt, while he's had it there for years and years, it was another person on the street who was getting cited for having a number of commercial vehicles, and then went on a mission, I guess I'll call it, of finding other vehicles around town that were in violation.
Yeah.
So, listen, I listened to the constituent, who was a good friend and a nice guy, and I said I'd pass it along.
Yeah. No, I think you made a good point, and we're going to have to give it some thought when we get to the public hearing.
Yeah, so the only, not issue, but the only thing to keep in mind is somehow separating the small-time businesses from the...
Enforcement's going to be
Yeah.
painful.
I agree with the point he's making, actually. I
do
mean, a
too.
small decal
Enforcement-
on the side of a truck shouldn't
Right.
be a
Well, enforcement
big
would be a
deal.
nightmare now if you wanted to enforce the regulations against everybody who's got that kind of insignia
Right.
on their car. I
Right.
mean,
Right.
Wouldn't
Where
make
do
any
you
sense.
draw the line? How is it one big decal? Is it two small decals
Right.
that equal to one?
And
big
it will have to be touched on in the sign regulations as well.
so
Because
no, I was just saying. So I asked Jack if he would talk to, town attorney, and try to incorporate some language that would solve that problem.
Yeah, I mean, I could see where we could be tolerant of an amount of signage but a limitation on it. I certainly don't want, to open the door to large
Billboards.
signs everywhere, in our residential section. But
Right.
I understood the guy who was talking to me was, pretty straightforward. And
No, it made perfect sense.
yeah.
Yeah,
He
absolutely.
doesn't want to, put it this way, he didn't want to have to grab a commercial place to park.
Right.
Just because he had a decal on his side of his, what is a
He-
passenger vehicle.
He
Yeah, which is
doesn't. He
very
doesn't
reasonable.
have a place of business,
Correct.
so it's hard to tell him to keep it at your office.
Right, I
you know what I mean?
complete agreement. It's very reasonable.
So we'll see where we wind up on that. But
Yep. So I do have Barbara putting that forward. And then as for the cannabis public hearings, I referred all of them to the regional planning authorities. So I'm waiting to hear back from them to see when they obviously are going to give us a referral so we can move forward with a public hearing.
okay,
I asked Vin, Town Attorney Vin Marino, if it would be okay to open a public hearing while waiting for the referral and just not making a vote until we have that. He kind of cautioned against that, saying, you might shoot yourself in the foot that way. So until I hear back from them, I think I've heard back from DEP. That's it.
I don't think there's the rush that we originally thought.
I agree.
Is in play. So.
Yeah. So when I hear back from them, I'll get some legal notices in the paper, and we should be ready to go.
All right. Anything else under old business?
Not for me.
How about under new business? All right. Item 4 on our agenda then is report of the zoning enforcement officer, Jack.
A couple things I wanted to touch on were the commercial vehicles and the cannabis, which we just went over. I did want to let everybody know that I spoke with Vin about our minute voting question, where last week and the week before we wanted to confirm that we were voting on the minutes properly, and he assured me that we were.
Okay.
So the votes last week were 2 approvals, no disapprovals, and then 2 abstentions,
Right.
which is legal considering we have a quorum and an abstention counts as a vote
Right.
cast just as an abstention. So
It just looked weird having it. It looked strange having it 2 people.
yeah, absolutely. But he assured me that everything was fine, so I wanted to let you all know
Two was a majority vote of the quorum
of the right.
that we had.
Yes. Vehicles, cannabis. And then I know at a past meeting I spoke about a affordable housing survey that the state of Connecticut is requiring all municipalities to have. The first step that they're doing is sending everybody a survey. So it's open to the public, and I've posted it on the town website, where it's a housing survey, just getting basic knowledge and awareness of the residents of town and the boards making the decisions for how they feel towards affordable housing and the needs that they feel as though their community have at the moment. So I just want to let you all know that it is posted. It's a survey on surveymonkey.com, so if you see something similar, and I know actually the Regional Housing Authority posted that in a legal notice in the New Haven Register. So if anybody's reading that, where we post our legal notices, they'll see that as well.
All right, but you sent it to us.
I did, yeah.
Yeah,
I sent everybody here the link, but I also,
Just haven't gotten
just
it.
wanted to say on camera that it is online and everything. So if somebody does have an interest to go online and
Is there a deadline for getting it done, or?
no, I think
Aware.
it's just they'll take whatever they can get while they can. So I would encourage people to go do that.
All right.
Other than that, that's all I have.
All right. Anybody have any questions for Jack? Okay. All right. The next 2 items on our agenda, 5 and 6, are related, and they are they're 8-24, Connecticut General Statutes 8-24 referral for the municipal improvement request by the Town of Orange by the Board of Selectmen.
Do we know? Just out of curiosity, do we know what the improvements are?
Well, they're not improvements, but the statute requires that if the municipality is acquiring land or leasing land,
Right.
which are both the circumstances here,
Okay.
that a referral has to be made to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So we're being asked to give a thumbs up, thumbs down vote, which the statute refers to as a report. It's not much of a report, but
It's a non-binding.
yeah, it's not. That's that's right. It's not binding on the Board of Selectmen. All it does, our vote affects the number of votes that the Board of Selectmen needs. So if we vote favorably, then the Board of Selectmen with a simple majority vote can approve the action. If we vote negatively, then they have to have a 2/3 vote in order to pass the motion and get and confirm the action intended. So as you know, this is the Racebrook. I guess the assessor has it identified as 5 separate parcels, but in all, it's about 282 acres. And the town is acquiring the property, and that's what item number 5 on our agenda is. And item number 6 is the town's leasing the property back to the country club. So they're looking for our affirmative vote on that referral. What we base our vote on isn't exactly clear to me. The statute doesn't say. But we are a planning and zoning commission, so I would assume that, we're looking at it from a zoning point of view. And in this, the action contemplated here doesn't change the use of the property in any way.
Right.
And
Was properly zoned before, it's properly zoned now.
well, it's a permitted use or permitted by special permit, which the country club must have, or maybe the country club was in existence before the zoning regulations were even enacted, more likely. So, I mean, it doesn't present a problem to me anyway. It's...
They're not looking for us to pass upon the transaction.
No.
But to give our opinion from a zoning standpoint, whether or not it's we think outside of the, in some violation of the zoning regs.
Well, that's-
We're voting on the concept.
Again, I mean,
Just like when we buy
actual-
open space.
yeah,
Right.
again,
We would have to
the statute
review.
doesn't give the parameters that we're supposed to consider. You know what I mean? But what else other than zoning?
Yeah, we're not going to have to substitute our discretion as to whether or not it's a good business deal.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Right.
No, I mean, and the Board of Selectmen, are all on record as being in favor of the project, of the action contemplated, and there was a referendum, and the registered voters in the town approved the whole concept. So. I don't know. I don't think we need to belabor it any. If there are any questions, maybe I'll do my best to answer them. But I think that we probably should have a motion for each of these items and a vote, if someone's prepared to do that.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to approve 8-24 referral municipal improvement request by Town of Orange to purchase the Racebrook Country Club from the Racebrook Realty Company. The properties involved include 246 Derby Avenue, 82/7/5, 137.54 acres. Derby Avenue, 80-4-1/1, 137.42 acres. Racebrook Road, 81/5/1A, 5.83 acres. 715 Racebrook Road, 82/7/5A, 1 acre, and 716 Racebrook Road, 81/5/3, 0.74 acres.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion to issue a positive referral. It's been seconded. Is there any further discussion? All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nobody. Okay. On the second one, that's on the acquisition of the property. Item 6 on our agenda deals with the lease back to the country club. Tom, you prepared to make a motion on that one? I don't think you need to read the addresses.
Okay.
I think you could just refer to it and what's in the agenda.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve 8-24 referral municipal improvement request by Town of Orange to lease the Racebrook Country Club to Racebrook Country Club, Inc. with the following 5 properties.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve the lease back to Racebrook Country Club. It's been seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, then all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No one. Okay. All right, so I think that's all that the Board of Selectmen needs, Vinnie was requesting. All right. Next item on our agenda, item number 7, is a bond release request for the property known as 125 Grassy Hill Road, submitted by Robert Sachs, and it's a request to release the remaining cash bond of $20,000 for completed site work. Is the applicant here? No.
I let him know that it was tonight's original performance bond release either, but I let him know that it was tonight, but
Okay.
I don't think
Has
there's anybody here.
has all the work been completed?
Yeah, everything's been done actually
This is Fieldview, right?
This is Fieldstone, yeah.
Yeah, Fieldstone.
This was
Beautiful.
I'm not sure why the remaining, because it's 2 separate bonds. I'm not sure why they didn't ask for them at the same time.
Right.
But this is the second smaller bond that
So
they're
there was
requesting.
no work that you were waiting on?
No work that I'm
completion.
aware of that is still waiting. All units have their COs. Everything has been completed.
All the
and
site work?
Landscaping.
all site work, landscaping, paving, lining of the roads, everything like that has been
Did you
completed.
run this by other department heads?
I did, yeah.
So there's nobody who's,
Yep. No, like I said, the building department issued the last CO a number of months ago now. I know the fire marshal was the only one at the time that was holding out just because he wanted them to complete their rear access drive.
emergency.
Yeah, and they did that, which is
egress.
why he, said you can go ahead with the bond release on the original release.
Okay.
So now this again,
So this is just an oversight?
not an oversight. There's 2 separate bonds, and they only asked for one. And I brought up that there would be another one, and I think they just got caught up doing other things, and then finally put in the request
Right.
for the last cash bond.
Move it. You looking for a motion?
Well, yeah, and I don't, it seems pretty clear that there's nothing
Right.
that
Outstanding.
bond secures at this point, this point. So, yes.
I'll move that we approve the bond release request, property known as 125 Grassy Hill Road, submitted by Robert Sachs, to release the remaining cash bond of $20,000.
All right.
I will second that motion.
All right, Commissioner Kaplan, we have a motion, and it's been seconded by Commissioner Smith. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay. Now, the last item on our agenda this evening is also a bond release request this is for the property known as 100 South Orange Center Road, submitted by John Coleman at Oak Tree Development. It's a request for a partial release of the performance bond. The applicant's here for this one. Yes? Yes, sir. Yeah, you can come to the podium.
Hey, good evening. My name is Kenneth Mita. I'm here on behalf of Oak Tree Development. I would like to just take a moment to review with the commission the materials that I provided and answer any questions that you may have in relation to our request to reduce this bond. I became involved in this project of September 2020, and since then we have made significant strides towards finishing this project. And several different milestones have been reached. And I was surprised to find out that in the past, no one had approached this commission for a bond reduction earlier. So I'm hopeful that you will look favorably.
Mr. Mita, how much we holding?
There's a bond in place now for $615,169.
On a percentage basis, how much is undone?
If you look at the spreadsheet right now, 27.3%. Okay, this spreadsheet,
27.3 remains,
work remaining outstanding as of 9/15/2021. This spreadsheet I was fortunate to be able to obtain. This is the original spreadsheet for the basis of the original $615,000, $169 bond that Oak Tree posted in 2018. Well, I'm not sure they posted it in 2018. They posted it at some point. It probably was prior to 2018, but it was, I believe, after the original project was started. It was originally started.
There were several originals.
Yeah, so I'm somewhat aware of the history of this project, but we're working hard to kind of put that behind us and make sure we get it done.
It's been going great.
Thank you.
Places are very nice.
So I did prepare a little bit of a PowerPoint presentation, which is my summary is already out of date. My summary was as of the 15th. Since then, we've sold 2 additional units. We are within striking distance of being sold out, with a goal of being sold out by Halloween. We have 2 additional income restricted, the affordable units that are going to be, we hold an auction basically. Those are both going to be auctioned off at the same time, which I believe is happening later on this month. And then on remaining market rate units, we have 6 units left. So we're very, very pleased with the
How
way
much was
things
the
are
total down there? 70?
60.
That was
Yeah.
the negotiated.
Yeah,
I
there were
remember
60
that.
altogether.
Wow.
So you say 53 out of 6 years sold.
That's correct. So as you look through the pictures that I provided to you, I tried to give you a snapshot. I also brought this, I don't know if you can see this.
The windowsill might be the
Oh,
best.
there you go.
Yeah, we've done this before.
Yeah.
So, as we go through the pages, just to give you a little concept, the buildings start here with building A, and they kind of go clockwise, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and then they jump into the middle, I, J, K, L, and M.
You want to turn that?
I just
Mike?
want to get the mic a little bit
Oh,
closer.
sure. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Great. So as you can see, there's a lot of red dots on our map. We're proud of that. Those are all the sold units. I do have one model that I'm considering as a sold unit, but that's not for sale. That's our furnished model that we're going to hold until the end. We actually have people who are interested in that end unit over there. So that does not currently count in our total of units remaining to be sold. Okay, but as you can see from the photographs over here, Building A is 100% complete. Everybody is occupied, except for our model, which is right here. There's a general shot on the next page of buildings A, B, and I, which is this perspective. All the landscaping is complete on these units. These units are all occupied. I've attached on the next slide a picture of the emergency entrance and the fire access gate, along with the sewage pump and the emergency generator. Those things are located in this area of the project right here. There was an area, this was a subject of some contention with the fire marshal over the condition of that fire entrance and the gate when we took this project under our control last September. We've since changed out the gate and we've put a proper gate in there. And we've gone ahead and we have final graded and paved that access road, which was barely passable when we inherited it. So I think the fire marshal is much
He signed off on it.
happier.
He did, yeah. At first, I believe it was a width problem.
Well, it was a width problem, but it was the fact that the gates were so poorly manufactured. They were poorly made and they were falling apart in every windstorm. So there was no barrier. It was so bad that they were putting Jersey barriers there to prevent people from driving through. Obviously, defeats the purpose of an emergency access way. So we were able to get in there and get that fixed, and I think he's much happier now with the permanent status of the way that's going to be, and be much easier to maintain that during the winter months, which is one of the things he was looking for. Okay, so that work is all complete. Building F, which is over here, that's 100% complete and occupied. Building G, 100% complete and occupied. Building H, the same thing, and as you can see from the pictures, the driveways are paved, the landscaping is in place. Building I, which is this building in the circle, as we begin in the circle here. Again, 100%. Building J and Building K, likewise. So all of these buildings over here, this whole section of the project is done, the landscape is complete. That being said, I will interject that the one major thing, the major component of the work that's outstanding is the final course of asphalt, which we are planning to do when the last of the big heavy-duty trucks are in and out of that project, which I anticipate will be summertime next year.
Okay, so you won't get in time for this year.
I don't think we're going to plan to do the final paving this year. We
Well,
have,
asphalt closes down too.
That's
at
what
some
I'm,
point.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, there's only a couple weeks left.
Yeah.
our goal for this year is to get this foundation, and then as we flip forward, you can see that there's a picture of some dirt. Well, so this is Building L. Building L is 100% sold, but 50% complete. So we have delivery dates in Building L in December. All of these buildings are kind of grouped together. They tend to sell out quickly, and we introduce them one building at a time to the market, so the dates are very similar. You can see, I have a picture of the site for Building C, which is prepared for the foundation. This is Building C. Since I took that photograph a week ago, the footing has been installed, and the footing stone for the drainage is also in place for that 5-unit building. We will be setting foundation walls and pouring those foundation walls in about a week, depending on how the weather the rest of this week turns out. But we are moving forward, and our plan is to do both of these buildings, since we've opened them up for sale, to do both of those buildings this fall so that we are out of the ground with all of the buildings before the weather turns. Then the truck traffic will basically be, delivery vehicles and whatnot, so that by the time the plants open in the spring and we are ready, we'll be able to get that final course of pavement done.
So it's really the pavement and some landscaping.
On the
That's
buildings that,
significant item.
that's correct, on the landscaping of the buildings that are yet to be constructed.
And your guesstimate as to what's outstanding is 165 grand, plus or minus?
That's my estimate, yes, sir.
Just out of curiosity, why is that mass earth excavation value so high? Is there that much site work?
There's not, and my interpretation, and I was trying to be generous with my numbers, my interpretation is that there's a mass site work that I have is that I still have to excavate this foundation and this foundation. I'm considering that to be an excavation activity.
Yep.
To be honest with you, there was no general site work related activity left, with the exception that the material that's generated from this hole is basically, this is a walkout foundation. There's very little material that's going to be generated from here. The material from here is going to be graded around the back of this building. And if you took a site, if you happen to drive by there now, you'd see that there's material kind of mounted up back here as a result of the digging of this foundation here. So this is all going to be graded out. That's why
Yep.
before we can do the grading, I'm considering that, the balance of the excavation. Okay. The last picture I did include is a picture of the kayak launch. It was shown on the original print. We did it exactly as it is. We constructed the pathway to that only up to this point because of the construction activity that's going on over here. We're not able to complete that pathway for safety reasons until this is done. But the other section of walkway, which is in this section towards the beginning, towards the entrance, this is all complete, and that walkway is in place. Yeah, the permanent mailboxes are installed, all the street lighting is installed. From an infrastructure standpoint, all of the core infrastructure is in and functioning. The only really is some tie-ins for laterals for the buildings yet to be constructed.
Jack, who from the town verifies these numbers? And is that you, or is
At
it
the
the building
time
department, or
of
town engineer?
The posting of the bond, it's myself and the town engineer.
Yeah.
So that determines the bond amount originally,
Right.
before any development starts.
Okay. Now, has a town engineer looked at these numbers?
He has not. No, I didn't give these to Bob.
Would we ordinarily do that?
On the last partial release was FedEx, which I'm not sure if we did. I mean, I'm sure Bob would be more than happy to take a look and confirm these numbers.
I mean, you're looking for a reduction in the amount of the difference between 615, 169, and 165, 650.
Yes, sir, that's correct. That represents a 70% reduction in the bond amount, which, you know, the difference between,
The original bond being $1,446,000, is that?
I can't speak to that because when I inherited this project, the bond amount was the 615.
Okay.
So it's, I'm
So
not
then-
sure what was in place before that.
So was there ever a partial release of the bond?
Not to my knowledge, no.
No. So 615 may be the full amount of the bond that was required.
It might be, yeah. I would
the
have to
start.
go up and look.
To my knowledge, and again, my knowledge is a little limited here because I don't go all the way back in history, but my understanding is that that 615 was the
The original.
starting point.
Yeah. What do you think, Tom?
Are the green areas all
doesn't really-
irrigated?
No, we don't have irrigation on this project.
Okay.
So it's natural landscaping. We have been installing sod on the front sections of these buildings so that it looks finished the same day that we do the landscaping. The larger green areas have all been raked and hydroseeded, or are going to be. I'm happy to say that the dock, after two exceedingly large rain events which raised the level of the lake by several feet, fared extremely well. Which, believe me, on the first one, when the dock was 4 feet underwater, I was a little concerned, but it worked out very well, so
It's good to know.
I'm happy to hear that. Happy to be able to report that.
Tom, what do you think?
Everything Mr. Mead is saying sounds reasonable. My
Yeah.
only concern is if the original performance bond were 1.5 million.
Yeah, but I'm not sure, and again, my own limited knowledge, I'm not sure that there was ever a bond for that amount.
I don't know if it went that far, right? Was there any construction prior to this project? The first two applications that fell into foreclosure, was there any?
You say any construction prior?
Yeah, in other words, was there a bond actually presented?
There was, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I know right where, I could run upstairs and grab
Why
that.
don't you
really-
find out
yeah,
that
that's
original
more than
amount?
fine.
That would be
Jack.
Yep.
Well, because it's a big
Because
difference.
if it's a reduction from 615 to 165, based on what I've seen of the project, that seems perfectly reasonable to
Yeah.
me.
The original, if you look at the number
Yeah.
from 1.4, that, you know, my guess, if there was a bond posted, it was posted probably by Centerplan or by some other entity prior to the transaction where Oak Tree took control of this project.
Didn't we, and this is the
you took it
project
over
where
from
we had
I think that's
we
the
had
history. I
a
think
negotiated
originally
court
this was
settlement, right?
Yes.
From
Mr. Landino
72
was the one who-
down to 60.
I think originally this was,
All right.
what's the name of the guy who's doing Fieldstone over here?
Sachs.
Robert Sachs?
No, it's
Cherry, not cherry?
Doug Anderson.
No. The name is escaping me. It's on the tip of my tongue. There was an original person who brought this through the 830G process, I believe.
It wasn't Munger, was it?
No.
Talking about Fieldstone?
No, I'm talking about this project. Talking about this
Ravenswood,
project.
right?
Ravenswood.
Ravenswood.
Yeah. And I think,
Taking space up in here.
yeah. And then I think Ravenswood sold that to Landino, I believe. And Landino actually built one building. He built this building over here.
Yeah, I forgot that.
And I think at that time, this all coincides with Mr. Landino's troubles with Centerplan and his endeavor to build the stadium up in Hartford. His financial,
Oh, I didn't realize.
yeah, his financial troubles led to him liquidating a lot of these projects. And I believe that's how the Oak Tree Development Group came to acquire this project.
So, I don't remember. Do we typically refer these to Bob Britton or the town engineer?
It strikes me that I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah, I don't see the downside for doing it. But
Yeah,
I don't.
I mean-
The only one that I look to here is Tom.
That's why I'm asking Tom for his
I'll
comment.
give you my verdict as soon as Jack comes in.
Without the starting point.
Boy, he was fast.
Right where it was. So it is our 615 number. I don't know if you want to take a look at that. So the 615 169 was the original bond posted in 2018.
Okay. So since I'm not the author of this original bond spreadsheet, I really can't speak to where those original numbers came from. I believe that this original bond estimate was prepared by Mylone and McBroom for presentation to this commission.
Well, I mean,
What was the total project cost?
On the spreadsheet, $1.4 million.
do you have the spreadsheet?
That was the total project cost?
According to this bond estimate. I don't think that this takes into account the hard cost of building every unit.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I don't believe, I think this
No, it can't.
is primarily site preparation, road, utility, landscaping.
The things that you would see on the site plan, right? I mean, the improvements
Yep.
Correct.
that are called out on the site plan.
I don't know if this helps. It says John L. Williams of Oak Tree Development personally appeared on October 11th, 2018. Not sure if anybody knows John Williams.
I do.
Yep.
He is the managing partner for Oak Tree Development.
Okay, so in October of 2018 is when he appeared for the original posting of this bond.
I personally don't have a problem with the percentage.
No, I mean, the numbers seem to make sense to me, and we routinely agree to reduce a bond as the site work progresses.
The one that I've seen.
I'm
for
just
a
wondering
partial
if it's
release is
something that
FedEx.
we ought to have the town engineer verify, that's all. I mean, the only thing that gives me some hesitation is, we agreed to the bond reduction tonight and then find out from the town engineer that he's
Something he's
got
not
some
happy with,
issue
or-
that, yeah.
okay.
I'm sure Bob
Is
would
that
be happy to-
reasonable, or?
I think it's very reasonable.
So the reduction amount is how much? Well, just
70%.
450?
And is there another bond for the construction of whatever the remaining units are, or no?
No, I think this is there is no cash bond with this development. This performance bond is the only one we have on file.
But it was
The construction of the units is not covered under the bond, right?
no, not this. I
It's
just
just site development.
right.
Yeah.
So we're just dealing with the 615 to the 165, according to Mr. Mita.
Right. Which I have no reason to doubt.
Neither do I.
Right, well, I was fortunate to be able to find that spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we can all see clearly how those numbers tie into the original bond amount.
And again, the lion's share of what's left is the
Asphalt.
asphalt, right?
That's correct.
90,000 for bituminous pavement, and then there's a couple 18,500 times 2 for topsoil and seed and trees. Is that going to get work? That work won't get done this year.
No, that work represents this
Yeah,
area back
where
here.
where
That's
it's
the
not
only
finished
area
yet.
where we're not finished yet. Everything else throughout is complete.
Can we?
No,
What?
you can't do a vote conditional upon the town
Yeah.
engineer reviewing the numbers.
Yeah.
You just look and Judy will tell you.
What am I thinking right now?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, we
Given
either-
my vast experience, I'm comfortable enough to go along with this reduction. I mean,
And
it's-
then
tonight.
maybe going forward, we'll be sure that prior
Yeah,
to it
I-
getting to us, you run it by.
Something honestly I should have thought to do. So.
Well,
it's all right. All right. So you're comfortable, and so will we? Do we keep some kind of cushion? Is it 165 plus X?
It would just be whatever is remaining after this reduction.
Not right, but would we reduce the bond to 165, 650, or would we
Well-
reduce it to 200?
With your permission, the 70% reduction, I'm asking to reduce the bond amount to 184,551.
Oh,
I'm building in a little cushion for you of $18,901 because Jack and I had a discussion about the $10,000 cash bond and whether that was actually ever posted or not. There doesn't seem to be a record of it, nor can I seem to find a record that it was ever paid on our end. So, in good faith, I'm trying to say that there's a little extra money here in the bond, since it does appear that that $10,000 cash bond was never actually posted.
all right. All right, so we just need to solidify the numbers on the amount of the reduction and the remaining bond. Somebody can do that math quickly?
Oh, you said 185.
184,551.
184,551.
All right, so
184,551.
That's correct. 184,550.
that's what we're reducing, that's what the bond will be after the reduction. The amount of the
Correct.
reduction, do we know what that
That'll be
is?
Now I see what you're saying.
Tom, you don't see any real risk to that at this point?
The reduction would be for $449,519.
All right, somebody make a note of that so we can have a motion.
Will do.
449,519.
449,519. That's correct, Tom.
So the remaining bond is 185,
184,551.
184,551. Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
Is there any other questions that anybody has that I can answer while I'm here?
No, nice presentation.
Thank
No.
you.
Glad to see the project moving along.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
All right, thank you. All right, so somebody prepared to make a motion that we approve the bond reduction that we've been discussing?
I'll make a motion as to approve the bond release request, property known as 100 South Orange Center Road, submitted by John Coleman at Oak Tree Development. Request for a partial release of performance bond. The reduction will be a total of $449,000, $519, and it will leave a balance on the bond of $184,551.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve a reduction in the performance bond. It's been seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? No. Okay. All right. I think that concludes our business for this evening. Someone,
Move to adjourn.
you didn't give me a chance to ask it.
I talked to Judy. Judy said it's.
I was
You read my mind.
I was thinking it. All right, we have a motion to adjourn the meeting. Has it been seconded?
Second.
100%.
Commissioner Tarenti, thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Meeting's adjourned. 7:45.